I knew something was wrong the second they sat across from me. My mother's chin was tilted at that familiar angle, half pride, half warning. My father wore his usual smugness like a tailored suit, heavy and overfed. They weren't here to catch up. They were here to claim something. My father carved into his steak as if he were cutting open a deal. "We've decided," he said, tone crisp, rehearsed. "We're moving into your house tomorrow. This selfish phase of yours is over. No more excuses." I didn't react. Not even when my mother added, "This is what family does for each other." Family. A word that always pressed on me like an old bruise that never healed. I set my fork down, breathed once and said, "Fine. Just make sure you bring the $860,000 in the morning." Their faces drained so fast it looked staged. That's when their smirks died. And that's where the real confession begins. They weren't always villains. Or maybe they were, and I was simply too young to understand the rules of their game. As a child, I thought control was guidance. I mistook manipulation for love. They trained me to say yes, to apologize first, to give whatever they wanted before they even asked. College savings vanished because they needed to fix the roof. My emergency fund disappeared because my mother had a hard month. My first apartment? Signed under my name because their credit was not good enough. I told myself it was temporary. That one day they'd be proud of everything I gave up. Instead, all I taught them was that I was useful. And useful things never get to rest. The shift began 2 years ago. Tiny cracks at first. A midnight call demanding I pay their overdue bill. A borrowed credit card that disappeared. Offhand comments about moving in once you upgrade to a bigger place. I brushed it off every time. Because that's what they raised me to do. Then came the message. A text from my father meant for my mother. "She'll fold. She always does." 6 words. 6 words that kicked open a door inside me I didn't know was there. I didn't respond. Didn't argue. I just stared at that sentence until my breathing steadied and a new truth settled in my bones. Not anymore. Revenge didn't arrive like fire. Came like ice. Silent, creeping, lethal. I started with the quiet things. Moved every asset into a trust under my LLC. Changed my property deed to be airtight. Collected every transfer, every receipt, every message where they demanded money. Their signatures, their admissions, their debts. It grew into a file. Organized, time-stamped, unshakable. 8 months later, I bought the house they assumed would one day be theirs. A home with clean walls and locks they would never touch. 6 months after that, I hired a lawyer, not to sue but to calculate. Every dollar stolen, every fraudulent use of my accounts, every cost they dumped on me. The total? $860,042.381. I rounded it down. Generosity, I suppose. Which brings us back to that dinner table. My father recovered first. "You can't be serious. What is this, a joke?" "No," I said. "It's your bill." My mother's voice cracked. "For what?" "For 30 years, I answered. Itemized. I slid the folder toward them. Watching their hands tremble as they opened it was satisfying. More than it should have been. But I earned that moment. "You expect us to pay?" my father growled. "No," I said. "I expect you not to move into my home." Their eyes shot up. "This is extortion," my mother whispered. "It's the amount I could sue you for," I replied, leaning back, finally calm. "And win." My father's jaw tightened. He knew I wasn't bluffing. They taught me many things, but above all, they taught me ruthlessness. I stood, placed my napkin on the table and said, "If you show up tomorrow, I'll file the lawsuit immediately. And you'll lose far more than a place to stay." The table fell silent. "And one more thing," I added as I pushed in my chair. "You don't get to call me selfish ever again. I'm done paying for the privilege of being your daughter." I walked out without looking back. I didn't need to. Their silence behind me sounded like rain finally stopping. They never came to my house. Never called. Never asked for another cent. For the first time in my life, the quiet around me felt like freedom. Not punishment. People say revenge is loud and explosive. Mine wasn't. I simply returned everything they ever gave me. Nothing.